Hey you guys, it's your girl Josh coming back to Real Takes. Today I'll be doing a review of Siren episode 8 titled Being Human. Sorry you guys, I'm a little late on this. The last couple of weeks have been a little bit busy. Real life calls, work, have two jobs, so, I get a little busy, but I wanted to finish out the last couple of episodes, so most likely I'll be doing 8, 9, and 10 back to back. So this is the first one in the last 3 of the full first season. Like I stated again, this is Being Human. Now, where I left off, we saw what happened, the dramatic conclusion where Xander's father, was killed. And it was just a sad thing because they had no way of explaining to the people once they got back to Bristol Cove to tell them what had happened out there in the waters. Come to find out, they were basically being hunted on the water. They went out there looking, searching, because Xander had came across Donna when she jumped in and saw her fin, so he knew they were out there. He knew all this time there were mermaids, but they wanted to just basically hush down what he had known to be true all this time. So of course Ben already knew, but he would not let on at the time, of the fact that he knows about mermaids. So he goes with him, Calvin and Chris, and they go out there. Father was on the ship. Unbeknownst to them, he wanted to turn around, but they chose to stay out there, come across Donna and the first male merman, which we get to see what he had done. And he ends up getting upper hand and killing his father because, of course, they left him unattended. They're all down some lower part of the boat and didn't realize his father was not being looked at or watched, and that's when he was able to get the upper hand, jumps off. But of course they made that eye contact, him and the male merman, and that's basically when you can see he kind of shut down. So at the beginning of this episode shows them actually, shooting the flag half-mast in honor of him, of Captain Sean McClure. And then it shows, everybody coming towards the ship, having, the pastors say some words, them saying their final goodbyes. Prior to that, you see a scene where Ren's trying to understand, what they're doing while they're wearing the clothes. And of course, Matt explains to them the situation. Of course, Ben's kind of hesitant because he has his feelings about this whole situation. He's being, hunted down. They were like, he feels that the mermaids acted like animals the way they were ganked. But then he doesn't want to feel that way, but he's conflicted because Ren does not carry herself in that same manner as Donna and that male mermaid, but he just can't help himself. But then in the end, you can tell he feels guilty because she starts to feel like this is my fault, but he knows that's partly not true, that it's not her fault at all. It's mostly his fault for not being honest up front with Xander and the rest of the crew, knowing that these mermaids and what they can do. And he did not give them forewarning. So in the end, he plays a part in this as well. So that's where that guilt is coming from. He wants to, some ways, lash out. He can't really lash out at Ren because he knows. And of course, in some ways, Maddie does know because they're kind of not being honest about a couple of things that are going on. And some people are still left in the dark. So, of course, it shows them at the local bar. They're all having drinks. Of course, Ben's father shows up. Of course, his mother Elaine's there, and then all of them are just there to be around Xander and his mother while they are, dealing, with the passing, all the condolences, the, people in the prayers. And, Ren, of course, stays home. She wants to be there because she feels so guilty about the way it is because of what have happened. And then from there, it kind of shows her kind of just getting ready like she was going out, So it kind of shows Xander kind of at the table, going through his feelings, drinking, trying to just drink it away, but he can't. The guilt is really bothering him because he's basically having to tell a story and make up a lie, saying the net caught his dad, and the mother can't believe it. She says all the time she's been out there, that's not the Sean that I know. I would never believe this would happen to him like this in this capacity. So that's the only thing he can think of to tell her. So they're doing what they have to do to kind of hold on to this lie, and it's kind of consuming a lot of them. One person, in fact, is consuming is Chris, to the point where Chris is like, you know what, I can't stay here. I can't be here any longer. It's just eating at me. I can't take this anymore. I don't want to deal with this, especially after what had happened to him earlier in the season, him getting hurt, the government taking him somewhere to some facility undisclosed, this nurse drugging her, which was the real Donna, the nurse, and then him getting out, helping Donna, the mermaid, and then, having to be you know, brought back to health, because he was deteriorating, and then just having to deal with this whole new circumstances of situation with, Xander's father. He's like, I have a friend who's going to let me lay on his, use his, his couch, whatever, and all that. I'm going to go work down there. I got to get away from this. And Xander kind of looks at him like, he's just like, whatever, he's not there. But then, he can tell. Calvin understands, Ben understands, and it's just like, I got to go. I hate to leave you, but I got to. And he's been through a lot as well, so who could blame him? So he's leaving, and that's when it shows Ren. Ren decides to show up. Not a good idea. A lot of people don't really know who she is. She is being told by lots of people that she's a friend of Maddie, of course, that, is, studying with her. So that's kind of the same, picture that you're going with. So she's kind of standing on the side, just observing Xander or whatever. Helen and all of them are still there. They're not really known to exactly that she's actually within the bar. Now, there's a scene between Ben and Helen where she's like, what happened? He's like, you're not being truthful. Sean was a friend of hers. She's, loves him like a brother and all that. And he finally fesses up that the mermaid showed up and tried, to kill them. In the instance, kills Sean. So from there, you see the scene, where she's like, you better watch, Ren, because, Xander gets whiff of that, whatever, no, it will not be good for her. Regardless if she's, very hearted, good-natured type of person, he won't care. He wants some revenge. He wants, to get the mermaid that killed his father. So it just kind of shows her watching, sees, some guys playing darts, whatever, no, she's getting involved with that. That's when, of course, Ben's brother makes it known to Maddie that, I see your friend over there. And of course, I don't know what to take from him. They don't really go into too much detail with him throughout the season. He's very, at times, lurks a lot. He kind of in the background at times when and all that. I don't know how to place him in regards to how we're supposed to take him, even though he is the brother. He works with the father in the company business, but they didn't really flesh him out too much. It just looks like he might be a little jealous of the bond that the father seems to want to him, even though he works closest with his father in the business, but he seems to have a soft spot for Ben. Secondly, the way he kind of acts towards Maddie at times, not to say really rude, but just very standoffish with and all that. Just the way he told her about Ren being there and then kind of watching, observing, just antennas up with him. Hopefully we'll learn more about him moving forward or whichever. So moving on, they take her outside and ask her what she's here. She says she wants to understand, you made a comment, Ben, about me being animal, but I am human. Then she explains to her how they deal with death with them, how they take the body and take it far, far away, and they have a certain space that they leave the body where it can't be bothered or touched, and then, like their own type of funeral, which was a nice little scene to watch between her and Maddie, even though Ben was there, but Ben, of course, still that guilt is kicking in. So now they know she's there. She eventually finds her way to Xander. She wants to apologize. She's like, I'm sorry, they want to kill, they want to do this. And she just says she's sorry. She has that moment of, that humanity that comes out when she kind of caresses his hand and leaves, and he feels drawn to her. That's when Ben and Maddie finally decide to fess up and tell. Of course, he's pissed. He's like, you give off this, vibe that you got my back and this, and you've been lying to me this whole time. He can't trust, him. But of course, Maddie speaks up in defense, but then she admits, of course, she knew as well. And he's like, stay away from me. I don't want to be bothered by either one of you because you're both lying to me. Two of my dear friends are lying to me. So it shows him kind of still going through his moments. You see a moment where, Xander does speak, but he starts to kind of, prior to him confronting Ben, he wanted to, say his, piece about his dad. And he almost lets it slip how the situation happened with his father, but that's when Ben comes up there, Calvin takes him off of the podium at the top, whatever, and they just say, how they felt, about his father. He considered him a father figure, which was kind of a low blow, I have to admit. And then it just shows how, Mom McClure felt about Ben's dad, whatever. She kind of accuses him of doing certain things that could have almost ruined a lot of marriages. The way he had them out there fishing, getting the fish, this. And he says, yeah, some of this is on your hands. But I like how Xander steps up and he kind of eyes Ben's father. He's like, I don't have no issue with you, and shakes his hand. You can tell Mommy didn't like that because she doesn't know all the story. So, you don't know how to take that part, but us watching kind of see what's going on. And it's not like he's going to tell his mother what really went down. And Ben's father doesn't really know, but he's like, I don't want her to blame him when it's really not his fault how that went down. There's other things that happen. Secondly, it's not like, she's not forthcoming with the simple fact that they were having problems within the marriage. It could have Ben in regards to the situation with that, but then a lot of stuff that could have escalated over months, maybe years, dealing with his job as captain on that boat, on that ship. So there's so much more with Ben's father that we don't know in regards to how they go about doing their business and how they've treated the people in the town of Bristol Cove. So basically, it shows, them deciding to. Calvin's with Xander at the bar. He's just drinking his sorrows away. And he's like, I want to get him home. He's like, we'll take care of it, whatever, and all. Because he gives out a red flag, letting Ben know, I need your help. So he's like, don't worry about it. So Maddie decides, let me take him. He let him cool off. You go deal with, Ren or whatever. And from there, it kind of shows she taking him to the boat. Because he's like, I want to go there. My father left me his boat. It's now mine. That was in the scene from episode 7. So she takes him there. They have a moment. He's like, you're always a good-natured person. Then there's a caressing scene on her face, which I thought was very interesting. And we learn a little bit more. They did have a little brief moment where they might have been dating or whatever. You can tell he's kind of bummed they're not together. You can see he's kind of a little bit envious and jealous of Ben, because it seems like he seems like a little bachelor boy, frat boy kind of, the ladies love him, whatever. So I like that we're going to see this, because I'll get into that maybe at the end of the finale, what I think about overall, just the dynamic between all of them. So, of course, it shows a scene where you see Ren talking to one of the seagulls, and it's so cute, because at first, within the first couple episodes, you see they didn't take a good shining to her, but then one in particular, one kind of comes to her and lays his head on her, and she's like, you like me, and I just love that scene, and he caresses her, and she caresses him. Ben shows up, and it shows a scene of him, like, what's happening? He's like, he likes me now. And he's like, he's apologizing for the way he treated, and she understands. But I love the scene where she's like, Ben and Ren are friends, and he's like, yes, we are, because he just feels guilty because of the overall way he handled this, which was done really badly with Xander, and just a lot of the people he should have been honest with. Just like I can see why a little bit as to why Calvin, and at times Chris, more so Calvin, was kind of hesitant of him, because they just feel like he's not all there. He was with the guys at first, but then he stopped and wanted to work on being more of a marine biologist with Maddie, whatever. And of course, they became an item. But then it's like, you're not forthcoming. And then to find out, which Calvin still doesn't know everything, because Xander probably hasn't told him, that he admitted that he knew about the mermaids, and he knew this and all this other information. So we don't know if any of this is going to come out going into the new season 2. So it kind of shows, her and him having a moment out in like the pier area of the back of the place that they work, and he asks her to sing to him, and she does, and it's just like that little trance it puts him in, and she does it, to appease him. And then this kind of shows the scene at the end of the episode where it shows Donna, the male mermaid, and then a new female mermaid we don't know anything about shows up, whichever it shows, of course, the transformation back to human, which I always enjoy. I like the way they do it. It's really done real well. I like the CGI on that part. And it just shows them kind of, getting up. They're, of course, nude. And then it shows Donna. She looks like she's in the middle, center, forefront for it. And from there, it just shows what's going to lead into what's going to be the episode 9. So that was a good episode, even though it was basically all around them losing, Captain Sean McClure, dealing with how Xander's feeling with the regret of how he handled this, being hasty with his decision to go out there in the water, taking the boat, which was technically not his to take with him, but him wanting to man up to do it. And then what happens, the ripple effect of the decisions he's made, which is really caused a situation within his family and within the town, because now these things are escalating with the mermaids, and they don't really know the situation of what's happening, whatever Maddie and Ben do, because of the fact that they have no food, they're taking their food, the government officials are doing this stuff, and now it's causing issues where they're fighting back within the water, and now it's just causing so many more things that are going to basically play a part and role in all the other people and other characters within Bristol Cove. So I enjoyed the episode. I hope you guys as well enjoyed my review on it. And comment below. Let me know what you all thought of the episode going forward. And with that said, you guys, I will see you on the next review. You guys take care.